Friend, I've come to talk with you again. In this visions that we keep seeing. Hey, everybody, Global Inspiration Nation. How y'all doing? All right. I like that song, Darkness by Disturbed. It's a meditation song. I really like it. So let's get into it. Let's dive into it. So if you can see the title right up here, right up there, it says something along the line. What did I title this, anyways? That Amazon affiliates. No more. C'est la vie. Sayonara. I am no longer doing Amazon affiliates. I got booted out of the because I didn't make the status quo of making 3 sales in 6 months. Seems kind of ridiculous, right? Like you couldn't even make 3 sales in 6 months. That's right. I didn't make 3 sales in 6 months. And therefore, they booted me out, and that's okay. So I've been booted out of Amazon affiliates 3 times now, trying to get this all figured out. Let's start from the beginning. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Popcorn? I smell popcorn. Smell popcorn? I do. I smell popcorn all of a sudden. That's weird. You tell people, you ask them if they smell popcorn, and you start smelling popcorn. I really do smell popcorn. That's really interesting. Sit back, relax. I'm going to make a really long story extremely long. So get comfortable, shall we? Let's dive into this. Here on Keep Inspiration Alive, here at the YouTube channel, and also on my personal page on Facebook. Don't friend me there. Just, I'm over on you can friend me or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I keep my Facebook tight, really tight and tidy. Tight and tidy. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out another platform to create like a for medium. I'm doing medium real well. But let's stay on topic, shall we? All right, Amazon affiliates. I'm no longer doing it. Why am I no longer doing it? So as I mentioned before, I got kicked out of it. So let's bring it back. Let's date it back to my original aha moment. So this story dates back 7 years ago, about 7 years ago. I've been on this journey for 6 years. So the story of Amazon affiliates starts all about 7, possibly 8 years ago. I was on drugs back in the day. For all you people that don't know, I was doing methamphetamines. I was on heroin. I was able to kick all of that on my own, cold turkey, heroin. Let's back up the story a little bit. So I'm a former addict. Of dated back to the let's see here. We could date it back to a lot of different things, but we could date it back to the Oxycontin. How about that? Oxycontin. Let's date it back to that timeline. Oxycontin. So got on the pharmaceutical medications, was able to kick that. There was during the timeline when the doctors were passing them out like candy, and I got caught up in that timeline. Then I got turned into heroin, got off that, kicked that, right? And I stopped drinking alcohol during that timeline. I didn't like mixing my drugs. And after I got off the heroin, I got on methamphetamines and I was able to kick that. So I did it all. I did all these like cold turkey. There's like cocaine and a whole bunch of other stuff. So basically addiction, fell into the whole addiction thing. All right. But during that time, I had discovered a channel on YouTube. You can go watch him as well. It really inspired me. It was what's the name of that guy's channel again? It's on YouTube, and I stumbled across a thing for Amazon affiliates, and I was I on heroin at the time, or was I on methamphetamines? I think I was on methamphetamines at the time. Could have been on heroin at the time. Anyways, I don't remember. But it was Lazy Stoner. What was that guy's channel called? Lazy Stoner. Anyways, like some stoner dude, right? Talking about like Amazon affiliates. He's all like, yeah, you can make like a lot of money doing Amazon affiliates. I thought I stumbled upon sliced bread. Like no one's heard of. I'm like, oh my God, sliced bread. Like no one's ever heard of this. Like I really, literally, really thought that like I stumbled upon something amazing that nobody knew about. Like it's like brand new to the thing. And like, no one's ever heard of any of this stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I was a punk rocker. I was in the punk rock community at the time. I was in the punk rock scene. I dedicated a lot of my life to the punk rock, being a punker, devoting myself as a punker into the punk scenes. Generation 2 0.5 of the punk scene here in Southern California. So kind of like the epicenter of punk rock. Well, I know it was in London, but in Southern California. Anyways, so I was like, I could sell everything to the punk rock community with this Amazon affiliate thing. This is amazing. Amazing. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to sell everything to the punk rock community. But I was still like very angry at the time. And so like I realized I needed to work on myself. And during that time, I came to realize that like I gotta like what do I sell? I'm gonna sell everything. And then then that was when I kind of dove into marketing and started learning marketing, advertising, started learning business, online business. During that timeline also was the timeline when I opened up and started talking to people around the world. Okay. I really didn't care if I lived or died during that timeline. I was very I got to be careful with my words here on social media. Some social media platforms let me say this word and some platforms don't. So I need to be careful. I was someone who didn't want to be alive anymore. I didn't care if I lived or died. So I was more on the other extreme than on wanting to live side. Does that make sense? Hope it does. But I also was getting to know people around the world during that timeline as well. I also had like really close friends that I transferred over because I made a decision to pretty much start my life over. I kind of came to this realization. This is where Amazon affiliates kind of came into play as well. That, I can make like a whole lot of money doing Amazon affiliates. Like, wow, I can sell everything, like literally everything, sell it all. And then you're going to bear with me. My story might be kind of all over the place. It's the fun parts of believing in a label of ADHD. I don't believe in it anymore, but still, it's still ingrained in being somewhat. So letting go of that label as well. So I just need to learn how to format my stories. That's all. I don't believe in ADHD. Okay, so let's get to it. So where was I? Let's bring it back to the story. So I was talking to people around the world. I opened up because I was a closet case addict, drug addict. I was too embarrassed and too ashamed to tell anybody. My close friends knew, and I never really lied to them. I was very, very open about it. The only people I'd lie to were the law enforcement and my parents, my family. Any of my family, I'd kind of like kind of sugarcoat it. I would, yeah, I lied. Let's just be honest. I lied. I lied to them. But my friends, I was always like very extremely open and honest about my usage and what it was I was doing. And I was never proud of my usage. And I was always aware on some level that my words that I was using were contributing to me using drugs and narcotics. Yeah. So I didn't really know who. So I just it gets a little confusing right here because I just said that like I was very open about it, but I was also very ashamed about it. So I didn't like telling new people. I didn't really like being open about it to strangers. So I needed to get help, but I really didn't know who to turn to because I didn't want my parents to know. I didn't want my family to know. And so I had that stigma weighing on me, and so there's a huge stigma that played into it. So I ended up opening up and started talking to people around the world. I found a dating site that I was able to pinpoint my location around the world. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So I went on there to start talking to people. I will lead into the Amazon affiliates here in a minute. And started talking to people around the world, being open and honest with them, talking that like I will be open with them because if these people want to judge me, they're on the other side of the world. And if they judge me, well, who cares? I'll never see them anyways. And to my amazement, a lot of people were very receptive, saying that, like, wow, I'm so open. And they were really, really amazed. And they continued to talk to me. And I, through that, got to know a lot of people, men and women. I put myself as like open so I could talk to everybody. So I wouldn't like just narrow it down because I wasn't on there for dating purposes. I was on there for getting to know the world and also open up and tell my story on a level where on a line to people and just kind of feel it out a little bit. And during that time, I started to hear a lot of stories that made me like really feel. And so I came to the conclusion with the Amazon affiliates that, like, wait a minute, I could actually learn this and then I can help teach other people how to do this as well. Right. And yeah, so I could help them. So this was like originally the Amazon affiliates was for me to help other people. It had nothing to do with me so much. It was I always wanted to help other people because I didn't really care if I lived or died during that timeline. And then I came to a realization that my brain was really scrambled and I had made a lot of wrong decisions. And I met a lot of amazing people around the world. So that was when I ended up abandoning my entire life. And I realized that I have a lot to learn and to do this Amazon affiliates. And I started to learn it. And then I came to realize I hit a lot of stumbling blocks along the way that I couldn't figure out because my brain was so shot from getting off the drugs, all the drugs that I was doing. And then I realized that I made a lot of mistakes and I had to resolve my unresolved issues in my life. What are my unresolved issues? And that became a big thing as I started to clean up my life and heal my brain as I tried to learn the Amazon affiliates originally. So this is the first time that I got the Amazon affiliates and then lost it. As I was learning the Amazon affiliates to teach other people, like, hey, you could do this too, rant and raven, like how easy it probably is, even though I didn't have any proof of it on my own, of my own success, but just seeing other people and seeing the possibilities of it being really easy. And I was probably just overcomplicating it in my own head, and that my brain was too scrambled at the time in order to help other people understand it. And a lot of people that I would try to help teach with didn't understand the way that I was trying to explain it. So I'd hear a lot of people, a lot of things I'd say, oh, scam, fraud, things of this nature, which was very discouraging at that time. And I saw on the Amazon affiliates something about a website. And I'm like, oh, I need a website. Well, in order to do this. And so I started to create a website. During that time, I lost the Amazon affiliates for the first time. So I'm like, all right, well, now I got a website. Well, how do I do a website? And then had to figure out how to build a website. And then as I was building it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to do this Amazon affiliate thing again. And then I signed up for the Amazon affiliates and then couldn't figure out how to build my website. And then I went to Fiverr. I'm like, well, I'll have someone build a website for super cheap. So back then I had a little bit of money to spend. So you get what you pay for, right? So I gave someone was like, I will build your website on Fiverr. So if you don't know what Fiverr is a great platform, despite the story I'm about to tell you, for freelance work. So if you're looking for freelancers to do cheap work, just remember you get what you pay for. Right. So I had this girl. She's like, "Oh, I'll build a website for like $20." I'm like, "Well, I can actually afford $20. $20, I can actually afford." And she brought it back to me on the Wix website that I purchased the domain from, and it was like a baby website about like babies and breastfeeding and diapers or something like that. I'm like, "What? How is this into enlightenment and everything I asked for?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, thank you." Thank you. I mean, you know. And anyways, so I signed up for Amazon affiliates again during that timeline, but then I started getting stuck in the trying to figure out how to build the website and connect that, and also trying to do all these other things. So during that timeline, so this is like the second time I like signed up for the Amazon affiliates and didn't realize there was like a 6-month period that you had to purchase, you had to do stuff. And I was trying to figure out how to do the website in order to do that. Okay, then I lost it. Okay, now the third time, this last time I had the Amazon affiliates, I signed up for it one more time. And I'm like, okay. And then I went back, and then I finally realized that you don't need a website. Like I like wasted all that time. Like I really thought I needed a website, didn't need it. And it turns out like, you could use the address for your YouTube channel as your website thing. It just says website. It was like really confusing for me during the timeline when I was like healing my brain and all that. And then, yeah, so basically long story, extremely long. Right. So as I was healing my brain and all that, I was spending all this money, like a lot of money, just because I really wanted to do YouTube and Amazon affiliates. This is the third time now that I had to sign up for Amazon affiliates, spending all this money on all this other stuff, not knowing exactly what I was doing, as my brain was healing and my unresolved issues were my number one priority. So I would not relapse back onto drugs and go back into these toxic cycles while trying to figure out how to clean up my life and learn business and build a website and learn a computer, how to turn on a computer. So, okay, former addict. So addiction also comes into play with pornography. And the only thing I knew about computers was how to turn on the computer to get to pornography and turn the computer back off. So I had a lot to learn. I had a big learning curve on many levels during that time as I was resolving my unresolved issues, getting off drugs, cold turkey, narcotics, cold turkey, heroin, cold turkey, Oxycontin, cold turkey, fentanyl, cold turkey, methamphetamines, cold turkey, alcohol, cold turkey, marijuana, cold turkey, tobacco, cold turkey. Kind of doing it all on my own. That was definitely the number one priority. In the back of my mind, I always remembered thinking to myself that if I make a lot of money now, I will probably go back and being on drugs. I'm not there yet. And I came to this realization of 7 years. There was a 7-year window I saw at a in-person event at the $1 million intensive training that I went to. And they were speaking on the levels of money that if you learn business from a cellular level, right? If you learn business, we have money hangups, right? And if you look at like cells, you have cells that like last 7 years, right? And so if you start to learn business, we have money blocks. Most people on this planet do. And that's why most people on this planet are not rich. When they try to explain to us getting rich is really easy, except we need to get over our money blockages that we have. Don't recognize them until you actually start working for wealth. Like you're like, oh, I'm going to build wealth. And then like you start to like notice all these things kind of come up that you. So the universal I, we stop ourselves, and it's us. And abundance is all around us. It's very super easy to achieve and get if we unlock ourselves from these money blocks that we have within ourselves. And he said to look at it from like a cellular level. So we have cells, and we every 7 years, because like our cells die off. And so like every 7 years, or like a brand new person on a cellular level. So it's like if you start studying business, like on year one, all your cells may be in alignment going like, oh, money's evil, money's bad, money's blah, blah, blah. Like all this stuff we tend to believe that's not real, that's not true, but we've been programmed to believe this. And then like after a year, so you keep continuing to learn business. And after that, so you have, one like great. So like look at all the cells as like a family. You have like great grandpa. So you have like baby cell, like newborn cell, baby cell, kid cell, teenager cell, adult cell, grandparent cell, great grandparent cell, right? And then like after a year, great grandparent cell goes and dies. And then like a new cell comes in. And so now we got 7, but now we have six over here, right? That are still in alignment with money's evil, money's bad. And this new baby cell comes in going like, hey guys, what's going on? Right. And they're like, oh, all right, money's bad. Oh, money's bad. Okay. And then so new baby cell comes in and like, asks all the other generation cells about money, and they're like, "Oh, it's horrible. It's evil. It's only bad people have money, greedy people, and it's the root of all evil." Oh, okay, well, that seems like a horrible role I'm being born into, right? And then like year number 2 dies, right? And now like two cells come in, 2 baby cells come in, and you have like older generations, and so you see like they're coming in, and these ones are going out, and so like it's kind of like the generation of this pop of the planet as well. Like you look at like all the beliefs and all this, and eventually what's going to happen is there's like a shift. So like all these baby cells keep coming in, and then these older generation cells are dying out with all these like old beliefs within us going like, oh, money's evil, money's bad. But eventually there's like a shift. Like there's a baby cell will come in and be like, hey, what's going on? Or, I don't know, like great grandpa and grandpa, and they're talking about like money, but like I don't see any of this, because when you continue to learn business, you see how money works, you understand how money operates and how abundance is all around us. And then eventually on a cellular level, things will change and all your cells will line up, and you will then be congruent with business, with money, making wealth, the easy flow of abundance of wealth coming your way, generational wealth, changing your generational path, changing the direction of the generational curses that we've been put into us, like changing the direction of the future of your family lineage, really. And so I was really inspired by that. And I was on year number 1 of getting off narcotics when I was learning this. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I am going to do this on a cellular level for drugs. I am not going to do drugs. I'm going to make a commitment to myself not to do any more narcotics for 7 years. After 7 years, I'll be completely a brand new person on a cellular level. All right. So this June, I will hit that 7-year mark. And I've been on that 7-year journey for that, while also learning business, because business kept me motivated to continue to stay off drugs while I was going through the withdrawals, fighting those urges to like want to fall back, right? So it's the same thing, like pretty much the same story as 7-year cellular thing as learning business, but looking at it from a drug standpoint, it's a little different. It's basically wanting to fall back, and there's a whole other way I can explain that, and I can, and I don't want to make this extremely long story exceptionally long, even longer. So I'll just say there's a way that I can definitely explain it. And I have explained it. I've helped other people on the journey to stay off drugs with the understanding of that, basically of that cellular story. But I tweak it just a little bit, and when I help other people to help explain it to them on all levels of addiction, not just with narcotics, but like all levels of addiction, from let's just leave it at that. All levels of addiction. You can portray that within that. And it makes a lot of sense. And I have helped a lot of people. I've coached people through that to like break through. And it's really like getting through your first year is, the hardest. And it's really about like getting through like the 3.5-year mark. That's when like you have that little shift over that little twist. So it's really about doing that. So while doing that, it's great to learn business, the dynamics of business. And this is still tied into the Amazon affiliates. I was really gung-ho on the Amazon affiliates. And now, since I've lost it for the 3rd time, I've learned enough about business and different directions of where to go on what I want to create, and so I'm going to move towards that. I'm looking at this as a blessing. It took me, 6.5 years while I was getting off. I'm not knocking Amazon affiliates. It's probably really good. I just couldn't get it figured out in the 6.5 years while I was. And so I'm looking at this as a son of universe, God, whatever, saying that like, hey, I know that was what you're trying to go for. Maybe you could do it later, but right now, stay focused on content creation, building an audience, because there are a lot of people around this planet with my story that I want to help. I know I can help, and I have helped, and I want to continue to help and build a coaching business to help others, inspiring entrepreneurs around the world, creating a global ripple effect of compassion that this planet has ever seen before, ever. Right? And doing that. So I'm letting go since the Amazon affiliates expired for the third time. I'm going to let go and I'm going to focus more on the coaching dynamic of helping other people. And with the business that I've created right now, I have a couple more months to get this going, or I'm going to have to throw it all away. And then I'll probably mope for a little while and try to figure it out. I may lay low as I tear everything down, but I got a couple more months, and I'm going to really fight this until the very end, till the end of the year. This is when I got with this, and I'm all in. I'm gonna really push to keep inspiration alive, going, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get it to go and continue to, because it's a really good brand. It's a good name. It's a good brand. And it's the essence of what I represent, of helping people on this planet and where I've been and where I'm going and where I want other people to help them get them through, to dig them out of hell, the hell that I was in, and help others out. I have dug, this is like the way that I kind of look at it. I have dug over the last 6 years a secret passageway out of hell. And I have gone back in to go get others, to help pull them out, so no one has to suffer the way that I have. And so it'll be a shame if I have to throw it all away. But, it's taken me 6.5 years. And if I got to throw it away because it's like then so be it. I hope it doesn't come down to that. But I'm just looking at the Amazon charm, right? Third time I couldn't get Amazon affiliates to work. So I'm looking online, and I'm going to continue to work on the building the Keep Inspiration Alive brand into a coaching business and helping in a few dynamics, writing, a lot of writing. I'm really enjoying the writing process and start turning it into writing out different strategies and things that I have gone through to help people resolve their unresolved issues and help people understand what their unresolved issues are, help people get them through their unresolved issues. And so unresolved issues is a really huge one, and freedom is around the corner after that on a mental, emotional, energetic level, and it frees up the mind. So there you have it. That's the long story, extremely long, of the Amazon affiliates and this brand of Keep Inspiration Alive and everything. So wish me luck. And if you see any more Amazon affiliates on the bottom, I need to go through and delete those, I suppose. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess right now I'm going to be turning this YouTube channel into a sort of a vlogging experience, as I am going to try to turn this into a content channel, lean more into the content creation side of it. I was trying to think of it to do it into a how-to channel once a week, but I think I'm going to turn this into a vlog, a daily or nightly vlog channel, and I'm going to just document my journey. And we'll either see this really take off, or you'll watch this fizzle out. This is what this channel is going to represent for the next couple months here. So wish me luck along this journey, right? Because Keep Inspiration Alive here on YouTube, it's either going to excel, which I expect it will, staying on the positive side, believing in this, because I really do believe in the message of Keep Inspiration Alive And it's the core, it's the essence of me, of everything that I wanted to create. It was the reason why I got off drugs, so I can help other people. It's the whole reason why I did this. It's the whole reason. And through that, and through the process of this and getting to know people, I have built life back into me where I do want to live now. Wish me luck. All right, toodaloo, people. I do have a clothing line. See if that works out. I built clothing line. Let's leave it at that. So, a call to action. So you end your streams with a call to action. So I guess my call to action is come back again, subscribe to the channel, and if you want, I'm going to leave a link for a clothing line that I've created. It's the first season 1 is better than season none type of thing. So I made some shirts and some sweatshirts, put like the logo on it, keep inspiration alive. And I hope you guys will purchase that and show support for the channel. It would be really appreciated. And I also accept love donations to help keep inspiration alive going as well, to keep moving forward so I can help other people on this planet. That is the goal. That is the goal. And so I'm trying to give as much value as possible. So I'm not just asking for a handout type of thing, because I don't want a handout. I want to work. I want to help people. I don't want a handout. I really want to work for my money and have my money work for me and help other people and teach other people these things. So there you have it. Keep inspiration alive. No more Amazon affiliates. Toodaloo, people. See you tomorrow.